They told us America was finished. They told us to sit down, shut up, and let the radical left run wild. But patriots, we're not backing down. Dr. Ben Carson just lit the fire, and Trump is proving once again he's the fighter this nation needs.
I have to go through a maze to get here. Well, now as we gather at this historic Mount Vernon, isn't it wonderful being in this place? Absolutely fantastic. We know there are a lot of people who put in a lot of effort and time and resources to make this happen. And we want to thank all of you for being part of this. Also want to recognize our board of directors who have been magnificent, and to recognize Senator Jim DeMint, whose wisdom, dedication, and service continue to strengthen the conservative movement. And I want to thank all of our donors and ACI supporters, including Bob Unanue, whose leadership in business is only matched by his commitment to faith and freedom. Each of you, whether you're a sponsor, a donor, or a member of our board, are truly the bedrock of ACI's work. Your generosity is not just funding an event, but sustaining a mission. It's investing in America's future, and that's the bottom line. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you all for what you've done. Now, we're living through a very consequential moment in our nation's history. The left has taken hold of most of our mainstream institutions, our media, our college campuses, Hollywood. And less than a year ago, our country was heading in a very dark direction as a result. But the heroes are the American people who realized what was happening and said, enough is enough. And they made their voices heard at the polls in November because they recognized we needed a man for the moment. And we are blessed to have such a man, a president whose leadership is exactly what America needs right now. And I first met President Trump before we were either competitors, before we had declared for the presidency. It was at Mar-a-Lago. It was on Easter. And I had my whole family with me, and we were talking to him. And someone came up and said, "Mr. Trump, Rod Stewart just came in." And he said, "I don't care, this is Ben Carson." And he made sure that my mother was comfortable. And at a time when our values are being challenged, our freedoms are under attack, our country needs clarity and strength and courage. And he has risen to the challenge. He's not afraid to take on difficult battles. He speaks with truth, and it would be far easier to stay silent. And I can tell you, not from just what you see on the news, but from a personal friendship, that his love for this country and determination to protect it are genuine and unwavering. His leadership matters more now than ever, and I'm very grateful for it. During his first term, President Trump oversaw one of the strongest economies in our history, cutting taxes, creating millions of jobs, driving unemployment to record lows, rebuilt the military, secured our borders, stood firm against China, and negotiated historic peace accords in the Middle East. He appointed judges who defend the Constitution and protect our God-given rights. Now, the President is once again leading with vision and courage, restoring American energy and independence, bringing jobs back home, standing up to global threats, and keeping his promises. And I can tell you in that regard, with the trip to England and all the pomp and circumstances, but all the wearing out, and then he's going to be at the Charlie Kirk's memorial service tomorrow. And I was just waiting for the phone call to say, "Ben, you know, there's just too much. I can't make it to the thing tonight." But you know what? He's a man of his word. You never have to worry when he promised you to do something, no matter what's going on. And it is my distinct honor and pleasure to introduce the 45th and the 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, needs right now. And I first met President Trump before we were either competitors, before we had declared for the presidency. It was at Mar-a-Lago. It was on Easter, and I had my whole family with me, and we were talking to him, and someone came up and said, "Mr. Trump."
Welcome back to Jace Manwa. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss my take on the truth the mainstream refuses to cover. Now, I just watched Dr. Ben Carson's speech introducing President Trump at Mount Vernon, and let me tell you, it was powerful. Carson reminded everyone why Trump isn't just another politician. He's the man America needs right now. Think about it. The left has infiltrated our schools, our media, Hollywood, every corner of our culture. For years, they've tried to steer this country into weakness, into dependency, into silence. But the American people said enough is enough. And that's exactly why Trump's leadership matters more now than ever. Carson shared a personal story from Mar-a-Lago where Trump made it clear he values people, not fame. That tells you something about his character. And while the media paints him as selfish or power-hungry, those who know him see a man who loves this country with everything he's got. Let's not forget Trump's record. Under his first term, we had one of the strongest economies in history. Jobs were booming, taxes were cut, unemployment was at record lows, and America was respected again on the world stage. He rebuilt the military, stood up to China, and actually delivered peace deals in the Middle East. Compare that to what we've got now. Weak leadership, open borders, sky-high prices, and a world that no longer fears crossing us. And here's what makes Trump different. When he says he's going to do something, he does it. Carson mentioned how, despite traveling nonstop and being worn out, Trump kept his word and showed up. That's what a leader does. That's why Carson introduced him as not just the 45th president, but the 47th as well. Folks, this isn't just about politics. It's about preserving America, our freedoms, our values, and our future. We can't afford to roll over and let the left keep tearing apart everything that makes this country great. Trump is a fighter, and with leaders like him and patriots like us, we can turn this country around. So if you're tired of the lies, tired of the decline, and ready to stand up for America, stay with me here on Jace Manwa. Like, subscribe, and share this video so the truth gets out. The fight for America's soul isn't over, and neither is Trump.